Recording in progress.
Hello everyone. We are starting with Mathematics Syllabus T, Paper 2, May-June 2022, the first variant, which is 21. Now, the Paper 2 is for 2 hours and 30 minutes. And you must answer on the question paper. You will need geometrical instruments for loci and construction. Now, let me highlight some of the major details. First of all, answer all questions. The color of the pen that you will use, could be black or dark blue. You may use an HB pencil for any diagrams or graphs. It's preferable that you use a pencil. And then the usual stuff, that is, write your name and candidate number and center number in the boxes. Write your answer to each question in the space provided. Yes, this is very important. And what are the don'ts? The don'ts are: do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcode. This is the barcode. So then you should use a calculator. Now over here, calculator is allowed because it's a paper 2 question. So what else is there? You may use tracing paper the way that I have taught. I don't actually recommend tracing paper. We have done everything with calculation. You must show all necessary working clearly. Yes, that is very, very necessary. Give non-exact numerical answers correct to 3 significant figures or 1 decimal place for angles in degrees unless a different level of accuracy is specified in the question. For pi, use your calculator value or 3.142. We will use 3.142. The total mark is 100. And the number of marks are written in these brackets. So now let me also draw some lines over there. And what I'll do in these lines is that I'll be writing down the time taken for different number of questions. And let's see how can we utilize this 2.5 hours. Naturally, we are not giving an exam right now. So therefore, the amount of time taken to solve this paper will actually be lesser. So now let's get started. Question number 1. Now the purple title is for the topic, and it looks like it's about fractions, percentages, everyday maths, and so on. So let me write down over here. This is about everyday math, which is about percentages and ratio proportion and fractions and unitary method, the ratio method. So basically, it's all about that. Now let's start reading the question. The question says, in 2020, the running cost for Frederick's car was $5,200. 28% was spent on insurance. So 28% is on insurance. Then we have 3/25 was spent on maintenance. There is a fixed $740 that's spent on tax. And then there is the remainder that was spent on petrol. So that will add up to $5,200. Calculate the amount Frederick spent on petrol, and it's for 3 marks. Now, first of all, what we do is that we calculate 28% of 5,200 using a calculator, and this comes out to be 1456. Secondly, the fraction 3/25 of means multiply 5,200, and this comes out to be 624. There is a fixed cost of $740 for petrol. If I use a calculator and I add it up, this comes out to be 2,820. So therefore, the difference between 5,200 and 2,820, this comes out to be 2,380. This is the amount that is spent on petrol. So right over here, $2,380, sign is already given. That is the first basic question. The second one, in 2021, the tax increased by 1.5% as compared to 2020. So how much is the tax? The tax is 740. Okay. So basically, we are comparing 2 years. We have 2020, we have 2021, and the ratio method is the easiest. So if something is worth 100 units, because of that 1.5% increase, this will become 101.5. That means if something is worth 740, the amount of tax in 2020, it will now be worth X. So now let's cross multiply. So therefore, X into 100 is equals to 101.5 divided by 740. Use a calculator. The value of X comes out to be 751.1. So right over here, $751.1. So the second part is completed. Question number 3, actually not question number 3, part 3, which is part B, part 1. In Jan, the cost of petrol is 2.20 per liter. Find the cost of 38.7 liters of petrol. I think this is too basic. So therefore, this is 38.7 into 2.20. This is basic multiplication. And this comes out to be 85.14. So $85.14. The average amount of petrol Frederick's car uses is 7 liters per 100 kilometers. In Jan, he spends this much on petrol. Calculate the number of kilometers he drives in January. So now the scenario is, we are talking about liters, that's the volume. We are talking about distance in kilometers. This is basically the volume. And then we are talking about the amount, and the unit is dollars. So we are dealing with 3 variables. So we have to reduce it down to 2. So we know that the cost of petrol is 2.20 per liter. So therefore, if I talk about 7 liters, that is the hint given for the next part. This 1 mark was worth it because it's for the next part. So 7 into 2.20, this gives us $15.40. This is for 7 liters of petrol. Now we have the thing as distance. And let me write distance over here. The unit is kilometers. We have the amount of petrol, and that amount, that volume is in liters. So 15.40, that is for 7 liters. That will make the car run for 100 kilometers. That means if we are talking about 200, and I think I've just switched the places. So let me get it correct. So now this is 100 kilometers, and this is, instead of liters, we now have the amount. So let me correct myself. So amount of petrol, that is the money. So the money in dollars, that is 15.40. Instead of 7 liters, that is for 100 kilometers. So now we are talking about 215.60, and this is distance D. So cross multiply. So therefore, D into 15.50 is 100 into 215.60. Make D the subject. So D comes out to be, using a calculator definitely, that comes out to be 1400 kilometers. So this is 1400 kilometers. Now part 3. In Feb, the cost of petrol increases to 2.24. And this was the cost in Jan. So in Jan, it's 2.20. In Feb, it's 2.24. There is an increase of $0.04. This is the original value from which the increase or decrease takes place. Therefore, we are interested in the percentage increase. So percentage increase is 0.04 over 2.20 into 100. And this comes out to be 1.818. Now, this answer is not exact. So this is a non-exact answer. Therefore, we should write it first to 4 significant figure, so that we have the final answer. That is 1.82. This is given correct to 3 significant figure. This is the 4th significant figure. It's greater than 5. It converts 1 to 2. And that's how we get this answer. Now, this one question is done. Let's move on. And by the way, we started at 12:02, I think, 12:02 or 12:03. So keep that in mind. So let me just go back and write it down. So we started with this as the time duration. And this is the number of questions, the range of questions. So we started at 12:03. And let's see, we will do at least 3-4 questions, and then we will look at the time. Now, this question, that's about number pattern. Here are the first 4 patterns in a sequence made using gray tiles and white tiles. So these are the gray ones, the shaded is gray, and the other one is the white. Complete the table for the first 5 patterns in the sequence. 4 diagrams are given. The 5th is deliberately not given. There is number of gray, number of white, total number of tiles. So first of all, this is gray, this is white, and total is basically gray plus white. So first of all, let me work with what's given. 6 plus 2, 8. 10 plus 8, 18. 14 plus 18, 32. So this column is very easy. Now 6, 10, 14. How do we get it? There is a difference of 4. There is a difference of 4. So first of all, let's talk about the gray tiles. So if we talk about gray tiles, it's an arithmetic progression. The first term is 6. Let me write it this way. 6, 10, 14, and so on. So there is a constant difference of 4. The first term is 6. The common difference is 4. Our Tn is a plus n minus 1 into d. So this is 6 plus n minus 1 into 4. This is 6 plus 4n minus 4. So this is 4n plus 2, and it fits beautifully in the answer space. So that's the first thing. Now, what about the second part, the part C? Pattern K has 98 gray tiles. So still we are talking about gray. Find K. So basically, Tn is 4n plus 2. And the number of tiles is 98. That's 4n plus 2. 96 is 4n. So therefore, n comes out to be 24. So there are 24. That's the 24th pattern. It will have 98 gray tiles. We are only focusing on the gray for right now. Now, one more thing. I forgot to fill this up. So let me fill this up. This is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 plus 4, that is 22. Now, what about over here? This is 2 plus 6 is 18. 8 plus 10. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 10 is 18. Therefore, the difference is increasing by 2. So it should be 12. And 18 plus 12, that is 30 over here. And then 30 plus 14. So this should be 44. That's how I'm getting the numbers. Let me double check. 2 plus 6, 8. 8 plus 10, 18. 18 plus 12, 30. 30 plus 14, 44. All good. I can fill in the lower level. 18 plus 30, 48. 22 plus 44, that is 66. So let me double check. That's 18, 22, 32. And this is 6. There's a difference of 4, my bad. So let me correct myself. The difference was not 4 in the beginning. Hold for a second. So now let me start over. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 10. So 6 to 10, there is a difference of 4. So 18 plus 14, that is 32. And 32 plus 18, that is 50. So we have 18, 22, 32, 50. We can now fill in the bottom. 18 plus 32 is 50. 22 plus 50, that is 72. So this thing is done. Now, it says find an expression for the number of white tiles in pattern N. So white tiles, when I talk about that, so we have 2, 8, 18, 32, 50. So 2, 8, 18, 32, and 50. Definitely, if it's not a arithmetic sequence, it's a quadratic sequence. Now, in quadratic sequence, we have studied earlier, there are a few pointers that you need to remember. First of all, it's of the format an square plus bn plus c. We are interested in finding a and b and c. The very first thing is that, remember this thing, the second difference is a, and the first difference is 3a plus b, and the first term is a plus b plus c. That means first we will find a. Using the first difference, we will find b. Since a and b will be known, we'll plug it in over here, equate it to the first term, we'll find c. So that is the strategy. Now, 2 and 8, the difference is 6. 8 and 18, the difference is 10. 18 and 32, the difference is, I think, 14. And this difference is 18. Now, let me calculate the second difference, the difference of 6 and 10. This is 4, this is 4, this is 4. In a quadratic sequence, the second difference is constant. That's how we know it's a quadratic difference. So this is the second difference. Now, if the second difference is constant, that equals to a. So the first working is 4 is equals to a. That is equals to not a, that's 2a. I forgot to write this. So let me just erase this. This is 2a. Now, we don't have to go through the whole process. Just remember these three things and you're all set. So therefore, 4 equals to 2a, or 2a equals to 4. Therefore, a comes out to be 2. So that's the first thing that you found. That is this thing. And then the first difference. So this is the first difference. Let me highlight it. The first difference, that is this one, that equals to 3a plus b. The first difference, first term. So therefore, we will say that 3a plus b equals to 6. 3 into 2 plus b equals to 6. 6 plus b is equals to 6. Therefore, b is 0. So that is the second thing that you found, that b equals to 0. The third one, that is the first term. So this first term is a plus b plus c. So a plus b plus c, that is the first term, which is 2. Now, a is 2, b is 0, c is c equals to 2. Coincidentally, c also comes out to be 0. So that's how we get these three things. And therefore, when we write it, this is an square plus bn plus c. So therefore, this is 2n square plus 0n plus 0, which is simply 2n square. That is for the white tiles. Okay. Find the total number of pattern tiles in pattern 20. So this is for the gray one, 4n plus 2. So gray is 4n plus 2. White is 2n square. So if n is 20, tg is 4 into 20 plus 2. That is 82. tw is 2 into 20 square. So that's 400 into 2. That is 800. So therefore, the total, it comes out to be how much? 882. So that is 882. So T total, that is 82 plus 800, which is 882. That's the answer for this one. And what else is there? Now, for example, that would have been very basic. And let me do something extra. So if they would have asked about an expression for the total tiles, so T total is basically 2n square plus 4n plus 2, which is 2 common, n square plus 2n plus 1. It can be factorized 2 times n plus 1 whole square. Now, this also makes sense that over here, if I look at these numbers, so this is something extra. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and this is 9, this is 16, this is 25, and this is 36. So these are square numbers. And for the first one, it's the square of 2. So this is 2 square, this is 3 square, this is 4 square, this is 5 square, this is 6 square. So basically, the total number of tiles is n plus 1 whole square. That is there, but we are doubling it. So we are multiplying by 2. So I could have obtained this expression by observation also, but very strong observation. So just letting you know that. So now this question is also done. Now we have question number 3. And this is, as we can see, it's a scatter diagram. By the way, this one was number pattern. So let me label it. And definitely you can have another look at the video when it's uploaded on YouTube. So now let's get started with the scatter diagram. The diagram shows the cost in dollars of buying a length of fabric, T meters. So this is the cost in dollars, and this is the length of fabric in meters. Now, first of all, the graph is already drawn. My bad. This is not scatter diagram. This is something similar to a scatter diagram. That is basically everyday graph. So I think there should be a scatter diagram in this paper also. So this is everyday graph. So that means if I have the length of fabric, I can get the cost, or if I have the cost, I can get the length of fabric. Now use the graph to find the cost of buying 3.8 meters of fabric. So 3.8 meters of fabric. So let me get a very thin marker. And the first thing is 3.8. So let me go over here, 3.8. It goes like this. Touch the graph. Go left. Read off this value. So this is 20, this is 30, each unit is 1 unit. So this is 25, 26, 27, 28. So the first answer that I'm getting is $28. That's the first thing. Now it says Samira buys K meters of fabric. She pays with a $20 note and receives $1.50 in change. That means Samira spends, or the fabric cost, $18.50. Use the graph to find the value of K. So now this one was going from this point to this point. So another color, purple color. And now I'm going from 18.5. So this is 15, 16, 17, 18, 18.5 like this. Touch the graph. Go all the way down. This time we are going this way. So that is part 1 basically. And this is part 2. And this answer is coming out to be exactly $2.5. Now that's not dollars, 2.5 meters. That's the value of K. Anita cuts 10 meters of fabric into 10 length to make a blouse and a skirt. The length of the fabric need to make the blouse, the skirt, and the dress. So blouse, skirt, dress are in a ratio of 6:8:11. So let me add 6 plus 8 plus 11. That is 11 plus 14, which is 25. Find the length of fabric that is cut to make the dress. So the dress, that's 11. So dress is 11 out of 25. And we are taking it out of 10 meters. So let's use a calculator. And this value comes out to be 4.4 meters. So that's the answer for this particular part. So this question is not done yet. This is again like upper bound, lower bound. The upper bound for a rectangular piece of fabric is this much. So this is upper bound. And this is the upper bound for area. The width of the piece of fabric is 2.3 meter, correct to the nearest 0.1 meter. So 0.1 meter, that's 1/10. This is 0.10. So we divide by 2 and we write 0.05. So we add and subtract. For upper bound, this will be 2.3 plus 0.05. That is the upper bound of the width. Similarly, the length of piece of fabric is d meters, correct to the nearest 0.1 meter. So therefore, this is d plus 0.05. That's the upper bound. Now we know that if we talk about area and we are talking about upper bound, therefore the width should be upper bound because it's a product, and the length should be upper bound. So therefore, this is 8.8125. The width is 2.3 plus 0.05. And this is d plus 0.05. So 8.8125 divided by 2.35. And then this equals to d plus 0.05. Now use a calculator, find the value of d, and the value of d comes out to be 3.7. Answer. So that's how this part is completed. Now the next question. And this looks like it is 2D mensuration and maybe 3D also. So I'll just write mensuration over here. It says a cuboid has dimensions x by 10. That's the first thing. The volume of the cuboid is this much. Find the value of x. That's easy. Volume of the cuboid is x into 10. This is 62.5 is x square into 10. Therefore, x square is 6.25. Therefore, x is square root of 6.25. And this value comes out to be 2.5. That's the first thing. The second part. A piece of card of sector is a sector of circle, center O, angle 84 degrees, and radius 15. Show that the arc length of the sector is 7 pi. That means we have to leave the answer in terms of pi. So arc length AB, that is 84 divided by 360, multiplying with 2 pi and r, which is 15. Now, first of all, 2 into 15, that's 30. And cancel it out. And this is 12. And then cancel out 12 ones are, 12 sevens are. So 7 into pi, this is 7 pi. That's the answer. Let me write 7 pi over here. Actually, there's no space, so I'll just leave it as it is. OA is joined to form, OA is joined to OB to form the surface area, curved surface of a cone. Now, this thing is like rolled up, and this is joined with this. Just imagine this joins with this, and you get a cone. So basically, a sector becomes a cone. It's basically a hollow cone. So if it's a hollow cone, so this cone is basically the curved surface area. Now what will happen? The arc length AB will become the circumference of the cone. That is the first thing. So therefore, the circumference of the cone, and yes, it's also talking about the height. So let me just make a cone over here. So first of all, let me draw a small thing like this. And then let me join two lines like this. So one line goes like this, the other line goes like this, something like this. Let me erase the extra stuff. That's like this, okay. And let me draw a perpendicular. That's going to go all the way like this. And let me draw something in purple that goes like this. Okay, so now I think I can write this as the height of the cone. this as the radius r of the cone. This is the slant height. Now, the first thing is that the arc length becomes the circumference. Okay, this is arc length AB becomes the circumference. Secondly, the radius of the sector becomes the slant height. So these two things are necessary. So L is now 50. And the circumference is 2 pi capital R, that is 7 pi. So this is 2 pi into R is R. That is actually, I'm writing it again. So therefore, just cancel it out. R is 7 over 2 or 3.5 centimeter. This is 3.5. So this R is found. This L is given. I can find what is H. So therefore, Pythagoras theorem, H square plus R square is equals to L square. H square is L square minus R square. That is 15 square minus 3.5 square is H square. Therefore, H equals to, just apply the square root and then put everything in the calculator. And what do I get? I get this answer as 14.58, which can be written as 14.6 centimeter, rounded off to 3 significant figures. So this thing is done. Now it says an empty barrel in the shape of a cylinder has a radius 20 centimeter and height 80. So we are talking about a cylinder and the radius is 20 centimeter, height is 80 centimeter. Yes, both are in centimeter, no conversion as such. Now it says a barrel is filled with water at a rate of 5,500 centimeter cube per minute. Calculate the time taken to completely fill the barrel. Now the first one, the step one, that is volume of cylinder, that is pi into R square into H. Leave the answer as it is. Step two, that is the unitary method, that is volume minutes. 5,500 will be filled up in 1 minute. Therefore, 20 square is 400. So 400 into 80, that is 32. And 2 zeros from here and 1 zero from here. 32,000 pi volume in centimeter cube will be filled in time in minutes, will be filled in T minutes. So this goes this way, this goes this way. So therefore, T into 5,500 is equals to 32,000 into 3.142, and I'll make T the subject. So T comes out to be 18.28 minutes. Now they are asking the answer in minutes and second, correct to the nearest second. So let me take this 0.28 of a minute. So 0.28 into 60. I'm converting it into seconds. That is 16.8 seconds. And that can be written as 17 seconds because it is rounded off to the nearest second. So therefore, the final answer is 18 minutes, 17 seconds. That's the answer for this particular question. So now 4 questions are done and the time is 12:36. So let me write over here. So 12:03 till 12:36, that is 33 minutes. So that is giving me 33 minutes and we have done question number 1 till 4. So that's 4 questions that we have done. Okay, let's go back. And there will be some questions in which geometrical instrument would be needed, but I won't be able to do it. I'll just do a rough thing out of that. Now, the question is about graphs, graphical solution of equation. Complete the table for the values y is equals to x cubed minus 4x plus 3. Now, when I want to fill this up, I have to use a calculator. So when x is equals to -3, y is equals to -3 whole cube minus 4 into -3 plus 3. So this is -27, this is +12, this is +3. So 15 and 27, the difference is 12 with a negative sign. So that's negative 12. That's the first thing. Draw the graph from -3 to 3. So we have these values, -3. Let me just use this dot over here. So I have this thing, which is -3 minus 12. So -3 minus 12 is, this is 10, 11, like each unit is 0.5. Okay. So -3 minus 12 is somewhere over here. That's the first one. -2 minus 3. -2 and -3, that's like this one. Then we have -1 and 6. -2, 3. -2, 3. This is not -3. This is -2, 3 and -1, 6. So -2 and 3. -1 and 6. Okay. 0 and 3. 0 and 3. Then we have 1 and 0. 1 and 0. We have 2 and 3. We have 2 and 3. And then we have 3 and 18, 3 and 18, 17.5 and 18. So that goes like this. So let's start joining it. And let me just choose this. So let me just make it more smoother. And then it goes like this. And then it goes like this. And then all the way up over here. Let me just do this thing again. Like this. Okay. So that's how the graph is plotted for 3 marks. By drawing a suitable straight line on the graph, find the solution of this equation. So we have drawn x cubed minus 4x plus 3. Okay, now let me write this down. Our equation is y is equals to x cubed minus 4x minus 3. And I want to do some manipulation to make this possible. So what we do is that we write this equation first, x cubed. Let me write this thing in red. This thing. So this is x cubed minus 4x minus 2 equals to 0. How can I make this thing equal to this? So what we do is that we subtract -1. We subtract -1 on both sides. When we do this, x cubed and minus 4x is the same. -3 is obtained from -2 minus 1. So now this is your y. So now this is your y, and y is equals to -1. That is supposed to be drawn. So let me draw the line y is equals to -1. So this is the line y is equals to -1. I hope this is -3. So -2 and then subtract -1 from both sides. But why is it cutting only at one point? Okay, maybe I have made some error. Let me, oh, it's +3, my bad. So there was a +3 over here. And that is the mistake that was made of not reading it properly. So let me remove this, remove this, remove this. So -2, what should I add to make it +3? So add a 5, add a 5. So -2 plus 5 is +3. So draw the line, draw line, y is equals to 5. So y is equals to 5. The purple line that is over here. Now this is drawn like this, and it's cutting at 3 points. So first of all, this is one of the point, and they give us a range of values for this. So this is one point like this. The other one is like this. The third one is, I think, somewhere over here. Okay. And also one more thing, the points that you have marked initially, make it a little bit more obvious, like put some crosses. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. No, not that one. That is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, and then this is 7. So these were the 5 points. Now we have this one, and this one. This value is negative 1.4, negative 0.4. So let me write it. Negative 1.4, negative 0.4, and there is a positive value, which is 2.1. Okay, the values that I have over here is that one of the values lie within the range of 5. This is 5, right? This is 5, yes. So one of the values lie within the range negative 1.8 to negative 1.5. Okay, almost, because I'm not using a ruler as such. And 0.6 to 0.3, this is okay. 2.1 to 2.5, this is okay. So far, so good. So I could have just curved a bit better over here. So that would give me a little bit better answer. Now, question number 6 looks like a loci. It is a loci. So this is loci and construction. The diagram shows the field ABCD drawn to a scale of 1 centimeter to 50 meter. Now, I don't have a ruler. I cannot measure it over here. The field has a straight path from D to the midpoint of AB. The field has a straight path from D to the midpoint of AB. Okay, draw the path and measure this angle the path makes with DC. Now, midpoint of AB, what you need to do is that you need to draw perpendicular bisector of AB. Now, perpendicular bisector of AB, open the compass to more than half, draw an arc, and then something like this. This is just a rough diagram. So now, approximately, it goes like this. Okay, I think that's pretty good enough. And then draw a straight path from D to this midpoint. So D to this midpoint, you draw a line. Let me draw it in purple color. So from D, draw a line that goes all the way here. Okay, I have to, I think, intersect this, pass this, and that's the value. And let me just erase the extra. This is okay. Even if it's drawing, going a little bit beyond, no issue. So like this. So basically, we are going from this point to this point. Let me label this point as M. Measure the angle the path makes with DC. So DC is this, and if I put my protractor over here like this, so this is the angle that it makes, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this angle would be around like 40-45 degrees. I'll just write again, this is an approximation, so I'm just writing 40-45 degrees. So let me write 45 degrees. This is pure observation. Grass is to be planted on an area in the field. The area to be planted is to be less than 325 meters from B. So this is B, and less than 325, that means I have to draw a circle like this, and then it should be lesser than that. Nearer to CB than CD. Okay, so less than 325 from B, let me first draw a circle without any shading. And circle and arc, they both are good. Something like this. I'm not sure. Hold for a second. Let me draw it a bit bigger because I don't have the exact dimensions. Okay, so just something like this. This is 325 meters from B. Nearer to CB than CD. So this one is an arc or a circle. So this one is arc. This one is angle bisector. CB, CD of angle C. So angle C is here. And if I want to draw an angle bisector, so let me just push this a little bit over here. Let me erase the extra stuff. Okay. Something like this. And then the angle bisector is drawn in, let's say, blue color. So the angle bisector goes like this. Almost, let me make it a little bit better. Something like this. And the procedure is the same. You draw an arc over here and then keep this thing over here, draw another arc, the same opening, draw another arc, join these 2 points. So that's the angle bisector. And it says can only be on one side of the path. What is the path? The field has a straight path from D to the midpoint of AB. Is that the path that they're talking about? I think it can only be on one side, not on both sides. So that means it can either be on this side or it can be on that side. It cannot be on both sides. So lesser and closer to CB. So it's closer to CB. That means it's over here. And it should be inside this thing and also closer than this. And this should be the one. This should not be included. I think that's the strategy. Calculate, find, and shade the largest possible area for the grass to be painted. So if I want to paint this thing, this will be like this, going this way, inside, keeping also in mind the blue line, keeping also in mind the purple line. And yes, so that's the shading that can be done. So this is like this is like this, and that's like this. Okay, and definitely taking care of this thing and this thing. Okay, so that's the largest that can be shaded. It's just that this thing was ignored because it's on the other side of the path. Find the actual length of the part of the path that forms a boundary for the grass. Okay. Part of the path that forms a boundary. So now for the grass, we have this thing, we have this thing, we have this thing, we have this thing. We can, what you call, just make some approximation, and like this. So basically you have to add it all up, and let me get this value. This value is, I think, not given over here. So it must be in the mark scheme. You can check it out later. So that is adding it all up. So adding the boundaries, adding boundaries, and approximating the curved path as straight lines. So now this is all good, all clear. Now let's look at this. Question number 7. This is looks like probability and then histogram. So this is basically statistics and probability, or probability and stats. Yasser travels to work either by car, bus, train, or bike. The probabilities of using these means of transport on any workday are shown in the table. So there is a probability of 12%, 40%, 26%, and P. And since these are the only probabilities, so P can be calculated. So 0.12, 0.40, 0.26 plus P, it should all add up to 1. Because these are the only 4 modes of transport. There is not a 5th one. So if I do the subtraction, the value of P comes out to be 0.22. Then it says, find the probability that on Monday and Tuesday. So let me highlight this. So we have this thing on Monday and Tuesday. He travels to work by train on one day and by bus on the other day. So basically, this is bus, train, train. That means if we talk about Monday, Tuesday, he could be traveling by bus and then train, or train and then bus. The days could alter with the mode of transport. So this is 0.4 into 0.26. This is 0.26 into 0.4, and you add it up. Or you can write it once and multiply by 2. And this comes out to be 0.208. Find the probability he travels to bus by at least once on Wednesday or Thursday. So now this time we have the bus, which is the green one, and the bus, and the bus, and something else, something else, something else. So this is bus, and this is not bus. So bus is 40%. So something else is 60%. And this is also Wednesday and Thursday. So we can change the date. So this is 0.4, this is 0.6, and this is 0.4. And let me write this one as this thing, another green one. Let me explain it to you. What exactly am I doing? So this is 0.40. So this is bus, this is not, this is bus, this is not, this is bus and bus. When it says at least once, that means exactly once or exactly twice, because we are talking about 2 days, that's Monday and Wednesday and Thursday. So this is Wednesday, this is Thursday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday. So it's either this or this or this. It all adds up to 0.64. And let me give you some extra information also, which you will find it helpful maybe later. So what if I find the probability alternatively? Wednesday, Thursday, and we are talking about no bus. So not. So that is 0.6 into, that is 0.36. Therefore, 1 minus 0.36 is 0.64. That means the possibility that he travels both days by any other mode of transport besides a bus is 0.36. So 1 minus 0.36 is 0.64. That is at least once by bus on 2 days. So this is the other option that can be done. Okay, now let's look at this part. Yasser records the length of time he spends at work on each of the 70 work days. The table shows the result. This is the time, this is the frequency, and we are asked to draw the histogram. First of all, class width, are they equal or unequal? 4 to 6, that's 2, that's 1, that's 0.5, that is 0.5 again, that is 0.75, and this is 1.25. That's the class width. This is unequal. So that is why we have frequency density. And then frequency is given. So I need frequency density. What is frequency density? That is frequency divided by class width. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 1 is 6. 9 divided by 0.5 is 18. 23 divided by 0.5 is 46. 18 divided by 0.75. So 18 divided by 0.75, I think that's 18 into 4 over 3, that is 24. And 10 divided by 1.25, that is 8. So these are the corresponding values that we get. And then we have to plot it. Now the first 4 to 6 is plotted, 6 to 7 is plotted, 7 to 7.5, that has a height of 18. So 7 to 7.5, that is a height of 18. So 18 is somewhere over here. So let me just go this way. Okay, that is this one. That thing is done. And then let me choose another color. That is 46, 7.5 to 8. So 46, we have to go all the way up. Okay, it's going 40, 45, 46, close, come back. Okay, the second one is done. That is 46. The third one, that is 8 to 8.75, height is 24. 8 to 8.75. So 8 to 8.75, the height is 24. Go up. This is 24. This is 0.5 and this is 8.75. Let me come down all the way. And then this is how this is drawn. 8.75 to 10, that is 8.75 to 10, that is a height of 8. So this thing, like this, that has a height of 8. So let me change the color. So first of all, this is the one that I'm drawing, and the height is 8. So let's go this way. Okay, so that's how this thing is completed. That's a histogram. And then it says Yasser starts work each day at 9 a.m. He's paid overtime if he works later than 5:15 p.m. So therefore, Yasser workday is for 8 hours and 15 minutes. Estimate the number of days he's paid overtime during the 70 work days. Now, if I look at the data, I focus my attention to this thing, and I focus my attention to this thing. Why? Because people working more than 8.75 hours, they definitely will be paid overtime. But what about over here? The data is mixed up. 8 to 8.75, there are 18 people. So let me draw 1, 2, and 3, just a rough idea. This is basically 8 to 8.25 to 8.50 to 8.75. There are 18 people over here. That means 666, we assume, and that's the only reason why they're saying it's estimate. We assume that data in a class interval is equally distributed, which may or may not be the case. This is an assumption. So now we are looking for more than 8 hours, 15 minutes. So let me pick this one. Let me pick this one. So 6 plus 6, that's 12. And then I have this 10 separately, and that person 10, that is from 8.75 to 10, that is 10. So 6 plus 6 plus 10, that comes out to be 22. And if they would have asked the probability, so let me not write over here. So first of all, let me write 22, just extra, that if they would have asked for the probability, it would be 22 divided by 70. So 7 questions, we are done with till 7. Let me go to the first page. So now this time is 12:37, let's say. We took 1 minute for analysis till exactly 1. So that is how many minutes? That is 23 minutes. And we solved question number 5, 6, and 7. So 33 and 23, that's a good thing. So I'm taking a short break, which you can also do in the exam if you're very tired. And I'm taking a break of 10 to 15 minutes. I'm just going for prayers. So I'll just pause the recording over here, and then we'll continue.
Recording in progress.
So now we are starting at 1:15, and we will go till the end. So we have question 7. So most probably we have 8 and 9 and 10, and maybe if there is an 11. So we will solve those questions. So let's see how much time does it take. So now I'm going to this question, and this looks like algebra, inequality, equation. Yeah, it's pretty basic. So let me write algebra over here. And let me check just one thing. That is that the recording is on. So now apples cost X dollars per kilogram. So there is apples and they cost X dollars per kilogram, and oranges, they cost Y dollars per kilogram. The total cost of 5 kg of apple and 10 kg of oranges is $40. Show that. So basically, we multiply it out. We multiply 5 with X, we multiply 10 with Y, and we make it equal to 40. So divide both sides by 5. So X plus 2Y, that is 40 divided by 5 is 8. So the first part is proven. the total cost of 4 kg of apples. So again, it's apples. So this is oranges and this is apples. So 4x plus 3y equals to 19. That is equation number 2. So this is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. Use simultaneous equation to find the cost of 1 kg of apple, 1 kg of oranges. Show your working. So it's your choice. How do you want to work it out? I'll just take the first equation and I'll multiply it with 4. So this is 4x plus 8y and 4 8s are 32. So that is equation 1a, the modified. And let me add it up, but before that, I'll change the sign. So negative, negative, negative. So 4x minus 4x cancels out, 3 minus 8, negative 5y. And the difference between 19 and 32, that is 12 plus 1, which is 13. And this is also negative 13. So y will come out to be positive, 13 over 5. That comes out to be 2.6. So the cost of 1 kilogram of oranges is $2.6 per kilogram. That's the answer for this one. And let me evaluate the other thing. That is the apple thing. So x plus 2y is equals to 8. X plus 2 times 2.6 equals to 8. X plus 5.2 equals to 8. So therefore, x is 2.8. So this is the cost of apples per kg. So x is 2.8 and y is 2.6. So easily done. The next thing, solve this equation. So we can solve it in one shot. And the first thing that we can do is that divide both sides by 4. So therefore, negative 8 over 4 is negative 2, lesser than x minus 3, lesser than 7 over 4. The next thing, add 3 to both sides. So add 3, add 3, add 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1. This is x. And 3 4s are 12. 7 over 4 is basically 1 3/4. So this is 4 3/4. So this is the answer that we get. So x lies between 1 and 4 3/4. Now the next one, solve this equation. Show all your working and give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. That means it seems like that it will be a quadratic equation and a quadratic formula will be used. So we are showing every single piece of working you have observed till now. First of all, take LCM. So this is x minus 1, 2x plus 3. 4 gets multiplied with 2x plus 3. 2 gets multiplied with x minus 1, and this equals to 1. That is 8x plus 12 plus 2x minus 2. This equals to x minus 1 into 2x plus 3. This one is already multiplied. So 8x plus 2x, 10x plus 10 equals to x square, 2x square. And this is plus 3x minus 2x minus 3. This is 2x square plus x minus 3 equals to 10x plus 10. So therefore, 2x square as it is plus x minus 10x. So that is negative 9x minus 3 minus 10 is minus 13 equals to 0. So 2 minus 9 minus 13 equals to 0. Underneath that, write ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. A is 2, b is negative 9, c is negative 13. Evaluate b square minus 4ac first. That is minus 9 whole square minus 4 into 2 into negative 13. So this is 81. And 4 2s are 8. 8 into 13. That is 24 plus 80. 104. And 81 plus 104. 105. And 80. 185. So I've evaluated this on the sidelines. X is equals to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac square root divided by 2 times a. So this is minus 9 plus minus square root of 185 divided by 2 times 2. So we end up with two answers, negative plus 9 plus root 185 divided by 4, or this is either or 9 minus root 185 divided by 4. And when I use the calculator, I get two values. One is a negative value, which is negative 1.15. The other one is a positive value, which is 5.65. So this is the answer. This is the amount of working that's needed. Question number 9. This is trigonometry. And sine rule, cosine rule, bearing, everything can be there. The diagram shows the positions of three towns, A, B, and C. So these are the three towns, A, B, and C. B is on a bearing of 0.72 from A. So A is this north line and 0.72. So let me first mark this thing. So this is 0.72. That is this one. That is marked. C is on a bearing of 150 degrees from A. So 150 degrees is this thing. So this whole thing is 150 degrees. And let me also extend this line. I might need it later. So therefore, this is 30 degrees. Therefore, this difference, that is 150 and 72. So this comes out to be 78 degrees. So that's the working that I have. Now, let me also draw a dotted line over here. That is another north. And it's needed for the first part, find the bearing of A from C. So A from C, if I have this angle, which is 30 degrees due to alternate, therefore, the bearing is this thing, which is 330 degrees. Basically, it's 360 minus 30. That is 330 degrees. This thing is done. Calculate BC. So what do we have? We have two lines, two length. First length, the second length, and we have the included angle, which is 78 degrees. And we can find the side. So this is cosine rule. So therefore, we will write BC, the whole thing square, is equals to 378 degrees and 280. So 300 square, 280 square minus 2 into 300 into 280. Let me make the dot a little bit smaller. Into 280 into cosine of 78 degrees. Use a calculator and let's see the values that we get. We get this thing to be 365.3 degrees. So BC after the square root, 365.3, and the unit is kilometers. Final answer, BC is 365 kilometers, correct to 3 significant figures. So that is the answer for this particular part. Okay, now the next one. Town D is 145 kilometers from town B. So town D, it's not drawn over here. It's 145 kilometers from town B. Angle ADB is 120. Now it's the same diagram, but they have just drawn part of it. So they have removed the C part. They have removed this thing. They have removed this thing. They have the north. They have 300 and B. So now angle ADB is 120. ADB is 120. Find the two possible bearings of D from A. You may add lines to the sketch to help you. Yes, definitely they will help us. The first help is like 120 degrees, maybe something like this. Just a rough figure. Or it could be the mirror image of this, just like that. So now, first of all, I have 300. Somewhere here could be D. Let me write this as D1. Let me write this as D2. So D from B is 145. So this is 145 kilometers. Don't write kilometers, just write 145. This is also 145. So I don't need that working as such. And what else is there? Let me label this angle as beta. Let me label this angle as beta because these two triangles are congruent. Okay. So now if I have any other angle, So do I have any other angle? Yes, I have 120 degrees. So now 120 degrees is in front of 300 and 145 is in front of beta. So now application of sine rule. So keep in mind, this is cosine rule. And this time it is sine rule and two possible bearings. So sine of beta divided by 145, that is sine of 120 degrees divided by 300, make sine beta the subject, that is 145 into sine of 120 degrees divided by 300. And you find the value of beta. I skipped a step, and this beta comes out to be 24.74 degrees, 24.74 degrees. Now keep in mind, this bearing initially was given as 72. So keep in mind, this thing is given as 72 degrees. Let me label this green angle as theta. Therefore, our bearing 1, that is with respect to D1, from A. This is theta. So theta plus beta is 72. Therefore, theta is 72 minus beta. This is beta. So theta comes out to be 47.26 degrees. 47.26 degrees. That's the first one. We can write this thing in the form of bearing 047 degrees. We can write it like this, or we can write it as the angle, or 047.26 degrees, something like that. So what else is there? The two possible ones. The other bearing. So bearing 2, bearing D2 from A. That is basically theta plus beta plus beta. So that is theta plus beta. This is 72 plus beta. Beta is how much? 24.74. So 72, 76, 96. So this comes out to be 96.74 degrees, or we can write this thing as 097 degrees if it's required, correct to like integers, something like that. Otherwise, this is good. Otherwise, this is good. So that's how this question is completed. Now, this question, this is about transformation. Now we have A, B, C over here. We have the grid. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. Now A slides and becomes a B. If I look at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 up. So first of all, it's a translation. And 4 left, 3 up. That means the translation vector is -4, 3. Find the matrix representing the transformation that maps A onto C. So A onto C, what is it? This is A onto C. That is a reflection in y-axis. Reflection in y-axis. And we know x coordinate changes sign. So now I'll try to remember -1, 0, 0, 1 into a point AB. So now I have this thing, which is -1, 0. And if it multiplies with AB, what happens? So -1 into A, 0 into B, that is -A. And if I multiply 0, 1 with B, what happens? So if I multiply 0, 1 with B, 0 into A, 1 into B, yes, it makes perfect sense. The x coordinate changes sign, so that is perfect. That means I have used it properly from my memory. So this is -1, 0, 0, 1. That's the answer. It's only for 1 mark. It's find or it's recall. Now it says triangle A is mapped onto D by an enlargement with center 2, 3. So D, you have to draw scale factor 3. So center is 2, 3. So 2, 3 is over here. And enlargement scale factor is 3. That means this triangle over here will be enlarged 3 times. The base will be, instead of 2, it will become 6. The height instead of 1 will become 3, but you have to do the counting from here. So what we do is that we count 1 left, 1 down. Let's start with this. So that will become, let me just put some dots. So it's like 1 left, 1 down, 1 left, 1 down. So this will become 3 left, 3 down. So 1, 2, and 3. This is 3 left, and 1 and 2 and 3 down. So this is this point. So that's one of the point. And I think that's all I need. So what I can do is that I can draw a figure in which the height is 3 units downwards. So let me make it thinner. So therefore, this is 1, 2, 3 down. That is this thing. And then the base, instead of 2, it will be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's all good, all correct. And then the third one, the purple one, that is just joining these two. So this is the triangle D, and that's done very neatly, very casually. So this thing is done for 2 marks. Now comes question 11 finally, and you see that not all questions are getting difficult by the end. So there is no set pattern as such. And don't think that if it's a cosine rule question, it's for 4 marks and sine rule is for 3 marks. There is no such thing as that. It all depends on the working. Sometimes the sine rule question was for 5 marks because the bearing thing was given. So 47.26, let me write it over here. This is 47.26 and the other one is 96.74. So that is 96.74. I forgot to write it over here, so I wrote it, and it's for 5 marks. So maybe 3 marks for sine rule and 2 marks for the bearing, and vice versa. But focus, have confidence regarding your own working rather than believing in such whims and myths and something like that. So now this one looks like coordinate geometry. P is the point 3 minus 3, Q is the point this, calculate the length. I mean, such a basic question as question number 11, that's very strange. PQ, that is x2 minus x1. So let me focus on it. So that is x2 and x1. So let me do the subtraction. That is 3 minus 1 whole square. And then we have y2 minus y1. So therefore we have minus 3 minus 5 whole square. And there is a plus sign, there is a square root. So this is 2 square. This is negative 8 square. Square root. This is 4. This is 64 square root. That is root 68 units. Or you can use a calculator, take care of the accuracy. That comes out to be 8.35, correct to 3 significant figure, or root 68 in the exact form. So you can write both answers. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ. So P is 3 minus 3. Q is 1, 5. This is P. This is Q. Gradient of PQ. That is minus 3 minus 5 over 3 minus 1. Negative 8 over 2, which is negative 4. Gradient of the perpendicular would be positive 1/4. Midpoint M of PQ. That is M as 3 plus 1 divided by 2, minus 3 plus 5 divided by 2. M is 4 over 2 is 2, and this is 2 over 2 is 1. So now I have M, now I have this gradient. Now I can find equation of perpendicular bisector. So I can write y is equals to mx plus c. Y is equals to 1/4 x plus c, 2, 1. So this is 1, this is 1/4, this is 2 plus c, 1 is equals to half plus c. Therefore, c comes out to be half. Therefore, y is equals to 1/4 x plus half. No particular pattern format is given, so just leave the answer as it is. And that completes the paper, and the time is 1:37. So let me go over here and let me write 1:37. So 15 and 7, that is 22 minutes. Therefore, the total time is 33 plus 22, that's 55. 55 plus 3 is 58. So 1 hour, 18 minutes. So 1 hour, 18 minutes to do a 2.5 hour paper, that is pretty good. So if I can do it by explaining you in this time, I would have done comfortably in 45 minutes without making this video, without the narration. So if I can do in 45 minutes, then 2 hour 30 minutes is a breeze, provided you know your concepts in and out. Take care.